Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay,
Speak
just
up.
wanna make sure.
How are you doing?
I'm good. A little bit nervous, but I'm okay. As Pastor read the scriptures, this text is from Paul. Paul's letters. He's writing the letters to Philippians. While he was imprisoned for the sake of Christ, in it, Paul talks about how we should rejoice in the Lord and not be anxious about anything, but prayers to Him with thanksgiving. If we do this, the God of peace will guard our hearts and minds through Jesus, and He will bless us. So I don't know if you guys remember last year, I got a chance to go back to Burma. It was around this time of year where my parents decided that they wanted it to go back to Burma. And they needed me to go with them so I can translate and also get to meet my grandparents for the first time. And it was an amazing opportunity to meet her and my other siblings and relatives that still live in Burma. My grandma shares a lot of story. She shared one of the stories about how the village that she's lived in, where my parents grew up, and how they all come together. It's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. So after staying with them for a couple of weeks, I have to go back to Thailand and to meet up with adults and Teti at a school. After spending the night at that school, in the morning we made our way to Edo's dad's village in Burma. It was a pretty beautiful, country road going back there. It's a dirt road, but you can barely. So when the cars are going down the road, like the dust is like just pile up on you, and like after an hour ride, you just like trying to find each other. There's so many dirt, but even though those dirts are piling on us, you know, I still get to see those amazing views, like mountains, rivers, rice paddies, and also villages, you know, small villages that the Korean people trying to build their huts and rice paddies around there. So it's beautiful and colorful. So we stay in one of the village for a few days at Edo's uncle's house. But while staying there, after a few days, his uncle heard the news about a school where the people came and burned all their textbook. So the student in the village didn't have anything to study, and they were not happy when we were there with them because they couldn't continue their education, which they need in order to help their families. So Edo's cousins, so now after stay there, we heard the news and we made our way to the school. And then again, it's an hour or two ride again. So to meet there. But on the way that we meet the students, Edo's cousin asked us to speak up, to share something, you know, about our life and how we get there. So I got up and just to go share the story about my life and how I used to be in their shoes, hoping and dreaming that someone would come and help me. You know, I try to encourage them. This was the Buddhist village, so the village that we go to is all Buddhist. But I say how I get through my life is because of Jesus. Being there and talking to the children and their parents, it was an eye-opening, and understanding how God has a purpose. Understanding God's purpose. So God's provide for us each day out of our lives. He puts us in families where we have love. He gives us friends who are also like our families. He provides us with jobs to have an income for all we need in life, like bills, clothing, insurance, you name it, right? He provides the church the church home for us where we can worship with our brother and sister. He provides the church where we can come and worship and have fellowship. Not just on Sunday, but like tonight. You know, this is amazing. This is pretty cool. And more, he provides shelter for us, a home to live, food in order to live, school and education are big ones in my life right now. It is very funny for me to say this because I was not a student in high school. I was just going through the motion, but I regret it though. So the people that I have been seeing for a while, when they find out that I'm studying to become a pastor, you know what they say? What? You know, how? You know, a question. But what are things that take away our joys? Tiredness, sickness, seeing the loved ones struggle, depression, anxiety, losing someone to death, living far away from family members. These are all things that can threaten our life and cause us to be anxious, which our scriptures readings tells us we're not supposed to. I don't know if you guys listen to WBCL or Star 88.3. They play every time they play Zach Williams' song in an old church choir, this song. Hear how he says, when the valley that I wander turn to the mountains that I can climb. Oh, you are with me, will never leave me. Oh, 'cause there ain't nothing gonna steal my joy. The song is really it's upbeat. I feel joyful when I hear it or sing it. If you believe in Jesus, if you live in Jesus, you can be a joyful person who encourage other people. And whenever I hear the word joy or rejoice in the scriptures, it takes me back to Psalm 118, verse 24. To say, this is the day the Lord has made. Now let us rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day the Lord has made. Let's rejoice. In those tough times or good times, he didn't say, try to be happy. Instead, he said, rejoice. This is the day I made it for you, so rejoice. But we often forget to be joyful and thankful for. We may think we can do everything ourselves, and that can lead us into doubting that we don't need him. You know, I got this job. I earned this money. I bought a car. I did this. You know, it's when you start to say I and I, it's a dangerous attitude for us to have. The good news is that though, even when we are ungrateful, God forgives us. In Romans, he said, he died for us while we're still a sinner. He still gives our lives up. He came and paid the price that we own. He shed his blood for us. And how do we avoid worrying? We go back to verse 6, to the text, to the reading, which tell us, in everything in prayer and supplications with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. It is helpful to think about some of the difficult times in our life when we remember how God got you through it, the tough time we've gone through. He got you through it. He got us through it. Well, while I was in Burma, one of my cousins got into an accident and passed away. It was very sad. It was really hard for us to go through it. But we as his families and friends, we were able to rejoice because He knew the Lord. That's why. He knew it. So, in life, when I'm hitting those storms, I ask God, what are you trying to teach me? Right? What are you showing me? And what are you trying to tell me here? What are you telling me? And that helps me focus on the works that I'm doing in life. See, having this attitude also helped me more to be joyful and worry less, because I know He is with me and teaching me something. He is. See, every time I sing, what a friends we have in Jesus. Pretty soon we're going to come in out with kind of remixed version, so just wait. But, you know, when I sing that song, it takes me back to refugee camp. Because when I was little, I sang that song a lot. The words remind me how God is so faithful. So faithful. And then if you keep singing this song and say, take it to the Lord in prayers. Take it to Him in prayers. Through prayer is how we talk to our Father. And through prayer, we can tell Him anything. And through prayer, we can thank Him for all He provides. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day in America. I hope your turkeys are ready to put in the oven. Because it's tomorrow. So I want to give you guys, take a minute to share the 3 things that you're most thankful for. Share that with your neighbor. What are you most thankful for?
It is. Yeah. My guitar. Family, church family.
Huh?
Family and church family.
Yeah. For your dad's life. What are you thankful for?
Mama. Met her.
Oh, shucks. Here, let me pay you for saying that.
I'm thankful other people because I'm good eating food. What about that's what every guy says. Not every guy. No, I'm kidding.
Okay? I'm sure you have a lot of things to be thankful for. It's never enough to be thankful for. Because this amazing hometown that we live in the country, I'm sure there's a lot. But now that we're all feeling thankful for, remember also that if we pray more and worry less, if you don't feel joyful, we can look back at that verse 8, and the whole list of things that we can think about that are more uplifting and encouraging. The promises that Paul gives us to the Philippians is also true for us. If we practice these things, the God of peace will be with us. Amen.